Hi everyone. Um, I washed my hair today. Life update. I look tired because I am tired. My glasses are a mess. I've been spending a lot of time in bed. I'm in Kleve, um, which is literally at the border of Germany and the Netherlands, and I've been taking some time off to think about my life and life choices, and to commune with other black and brown people whose lives have taken them on a detour and they found themselves here in Germany trying to figure out how to fend for themselves and how to survive, whether it's a war in Ukraine or not having a home to go back to because of a war back home. Um, or whether it's I know there's one person who told me they were going back to Congo. And I remember thinking in my head, like, will you be safe? I also did not want to be the person who would be stating the obvious to someone who has clearly considered the risks, but home is still home. And I'm in this very interesting predicament. I'm or situation. Let me call it. There's a predicament, but let's call it a situation. Um, I've been sharing about how homesick I am because I really do miss being around Black people, speaking Swahili and Kenyan English. I miss the food. I miss sunshine on the regular. I know there are days when it's cold and rainy in Nairobi or in Malindi, but I miss it. I miss what's familiar. And Germany has become familiar in a way that makes me think, so how am I supposed to live without the conveniences of the train and the bus and the supermarkets that are stocked with the things I've gotten accustomed to buying at the price I'm accustomed to buying them at price, okay, or for, I don't know. My brain is quite foggy, and I think just based off of previous experiences, because this is my third winter, like fall heading into winter. Gosh, I can't believe I'm saying that. This is the third time I'm going through this. Changes in mood, changes in the colors I like to wear, changes in. And the sun is out, by the way, but it's still not the same. It's cold. It's not summer. It's not cold. But it is cold. I need a jacket when I go outside. It doesn't have to be a winter jacket, but just something on top of what I have here. In summer, I could wear a vest, is what I mean when I say it's cold. I'm almost always cold because anemia. But I'm just rambling because how do I even say this? I'm rethinking my life choices. When you go through a major change, like moving to a new country, and you have all these plans. I'll come here, I'll do my master's program, I'll finish, I'll create a program or recreate the program I created back home, and then go home and serve the people I love and work amongst the people I care for. Then something happens, you develop seasonal affective disorder because your body doesn't know what the heck winter is. And as a client of mine, former client, now friend, very aptly put it, because she studied abroad. She said it's as if the darkness within is now reflected in the darkness without. Like that cold, dark feeling you feel inside when you have depression, it's now all around you in winter. And I'm not saying winter isn't beautiful to look at, but my God, it is depressing to just be surrounded by white and maybe black or white and brown, or just, it feels like death. And at least to me, Hey, the people who love winter, you're not the ones I am talking about here. I'm talking about the Africans who come here and have a really, really hard time. And I don't mean just Africans, I mean anyone who doesn't experience winter in their countries, because I'm guessing there are probably countries like South Africa, certain places that experience winter. I guess, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm guessing North Africa must also experience some cold. Anyway, I don't know. Don't remember my geography too well, but I am targeting the people who come from tropical countries who never experience winter, or for whom winter is July and maybe June, and it's when temperatures drop to like 15 degrees, and you're there with your jacket thinking, what the heck, this is my second cold in a week, and sipping on ginger tea. Like that's endless cups of ginger tea at work. Like that's how I remember it. And I miss that, but I miss it also, I think, in a very romantic sense. Because, so what's the thing? I remember a friend of mine told me recently, what's the thing? She said, Sharon, now that you've lived abroad, even if it's for a short time as a student, broke, never having been employed until recently, and then my employers are trying to screw me over, by the way. So even if to people who've never left Kenya, and especially if they wanted to, they wish they had the opportunities, not all of them, but some of them, there comes this entitlement to you or your money or your time, or and then because I scored quite high on the codependency scale in 2020, I don't think that has changed completely. I have a lot of survivor's remorse. I know people who are brilliant, people who have more book smarts and more street smarts than I do, who are stuck in Kenya, who are stuck in Nigeria, people who, given the opportunities I've had, would probably have done more. And that guilt kills me. So I took the weight of the world on my shoulders from, I guess, June. And I was going through the breakup. So, like, June is when it hit me. Like, June is when I was like, oh my God, you're not going to be with this man for the rest of your life. And it crushed me completely. So, this is me in late October, late October, uh, reflecting on my spending habits from June until now. Granted, the things I needed that I bought, but I had to put measures. Like, I literally had to have someone make the purchases for me, and then for me to pay them whenever I was paid, because I really struggle to buy myself nice things. It's easier for me, and it hit me in a few weeks ago after I did a cleaning job for a new client, and then we hit it off. My friend was in traveling to Leipzig and for sleepover with me. I was in Berlin working. So I finished the job, and then she informs me, yeah, I've just arrived by bus, and it's almost 8 p.m. I've finished off with my client. I'm rushing out because I'm thinking if I get a quick train, I'll be with her in 1.5 hours. She was expecting to wait for about 2 hours. So I'm like, plus or minus. But this is a quick train. This is the ICE. It's going to be a direct train. So I won't keep her as long. So I just hoping to surprise her, and I was planning to get pizza on my way out. So this client, who has now become a friend, black person, really chill, really good vibe. We've been gisting like the whole afternoon while I worked. And talking about like our personal lives, our childhood trauma, and work as well, because they're interested in healthcare and I'm interested in tech. And as we have this conversation, it's like, yeah, why don't you invite your friend over? Only because this person is an African, I quickly jumped at the idea. I told my friend, hey, why don't you come over? Because I thought it's a bigger space. It's a nice kitchen. I love nice kitchens. Anyone listening who knows my future partner, just tell them I like nice kitchens. Like with a kitchen island, with a granite slab, with a deep sink that's easy to clean. Yeah, metallic, because I want to be able to scrub out the dirt. Like, I'd rather see calc than see grease. Anyway, whatever. So so my friend, I buy her ticket to come over, and I remember I hesitated for just a second. I was like, oh, this money, this is like this is almost what I made yesterday, like a full day's wage. Not full day, but more like 4 hours. And it was spent, let's say, 3 hours wage, a little more, then I did not really hesitate. It was the, this is going to hurt, but you know what? I would have spent it on myself. But I was not going to spend that on myself. I was probably going to take like the slower route to go home because, again, it's easier for me to give someone that money than it is to spend it on myself. Let's talk boundaries. Let's talk self-love. Let's talk self-hatred, possibly. And and then when it was time for me to buy my ticket of less value for a different event, like when I was coming to Kleve, I was like, oh yeah, I can buy this ticket for this much. I remember seeing 49 euros, I think. And I was like, no, but the Deutschland ticket is 49 euros. Why not get the Deutschland ticket? I was on the road from, was it 11 a.m.? I got here at 3:35 a.m. the following day. I was tired. I needed to rest. It's taken me several days to recover from that trip. And, or at least one day, at least 24 hours. And then I'm planning to do it again. It's easier for me to buy someone else that ticket with my money, like gift it to them. It's easier for me to buy someone a jumper for 20 euros with my last 60 euros. And then I buy two than it is to buy it for myself. So I've been asking myself, what's going on? Like, I thought we finally got to a place where we liked ourselves. I thought we finally got to a place where we can gift ourselves things without guilt. I do gift myself things without guilt until I discovered there was a need. So for instance, I bought something, these jumpers, because I was sure I'd sorted what needed to be sorted. Then I learned someone I care about is out of work, someone I co-parent with, someone with whom I'm raising a child doesn't have a job anymore. And I have just spent what I have spent on jumpers. I was in pain and guilt. Mark you, I need these jumpers. One is a gift for my host here in Kleve. One is a gift for someone who's really come through for me and whose birthday I forgot. Has really come through for me by giving me business work, like sending me to clients, referring me for work, my Berlin boss. And then now the other one is for myself because we're heading into cold season, so I do need a jumper. Tell me why I immediately regretted not the other purchases, not for the two people, but for myself. I was like, crap, if I had just sent her this money instead. Then I mean, like, I'm sat here asking myself, is it that I'm an empath? Or is it that, but actually it is. Or is it that I'm codependent? I remember someone describing codependency as setting yourself on fire to keep others warm, right? What's her name? Jacinta. I don't remember her other name, but she's really dope and she does these workshops online. And she helps women navigate everything, like relationships with yourself, situationships, unhealthy relationships with partners, etc. But yeah, and I guess in heterosexual settings is what I gather. But you see, and this is why I really, really struggle to engage with men because there's a certain selflessness I see in women that I don't see to be naturally occurring in men, and I see it in boys and girls. I remember seeing this study that was conducted where girls at the age of 5 had already learned how to lie to make adults feel better. So they were asked, I think they put salt in something that was supposed to be sweet, like salty ice cream. And I don't mean salted caramel, like the good kind. They did something. I forget what the food was, but it was a test. It tasted bad. It tasted bad. The boys, 4 or 5 year olds, the boys were very quick to say, yuck, it tastes bad. And they told the person who'd given it to them as a gift, like, oh, here, try this. I made this. I thought you might like it. They were dishonest. The girls were like, they make a face and then they're like, well, actually, I kind of like salt in ice cream sometimes, or like, I think it could taste like this, or thank you, or something. Like, they made up this whole thing to protect the feelings of the adult who'd offered them this really horrible food item. And it hit me, we've been groomed. And I say it like a joke, but we've been groomed from infancy to take care of everyone's feelings. So we don't know how to switch it off at the age of 36, 46, 56. We've been groomed, and I was listening to this late last night, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. We've been groomed to prepare for motherhood, but we are not really prepared for it. I think I already shared this. My therapist made me literally tear up when she said that I was different from the person I was trying to run away from. Those of you who know me personally or who've listened to me consistently know that I have gone through this period of time when I've gone no contact with my mother. My mother is a wonderful human being, and I love her. I just don't like her. And even saying that is hard, but I'm saying this to give people permission. Because I've been talking to more and more women who are treated very poorly by their moms, stepmoms, aunties, the women who've raised them, because, guardians, especially the women on women violence. So and I mean, even especially emotional violence. I watched a video clip from social media yesterday that really triggered me. So there's a beautiful lady who's eating her food and really enjoying it. And as a foodie, I could feel how she was enjoying her food. And her mom says, you just need to look at, we don't see the mom, but we hear her. You just need to look at a man, the way you look at your food, and, he'll know you're in love with him, or he'll fall in love with you or something. And she was like, Mom, that's not cool. What breaks my heart is that she's thick. She has a thick body. She's not skinny. And it made me feel so bad. I have serious body image issues because of my mom, because I remember my mom telling me, you look masculine. And I'm like, you mean muscular? Like I have high muscle tone, like good muscle tone? She's like, no, masculine like a boy. And she wasn't saying it to be nice. Like she wasn't saying it like, you have such high muscle tone, like really good muscle tone, you'd pass for a dude. No, 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 no. It was in the put you down type way that every woman who's listening to this can relate to the minute I said what I said. They could relate to the minute I said what I said. Our moms can be really hard on us. And by the ironically, they can be very hard on us while being very kind to our brothers, very hard on us while being very kind to other people's children. I remember this one particular girlfriend of mine, who's a childhood friend, thought I was being too hard on my mom. She was like, "Oh, are you sure you're not being too..." And then sometimes you just need to... Thankfully, another friend was present. We had a group call, was present, who'd been treated poorly by my mom as well. And she's like, you have no idea, do you? And this friend was talking about how she was going through it with her mom. And then so this mutual friend of ours goes quiet for some time. And in my head, I'm thinking, is it starting to come back to you that either one, my mom has been nicer to you than she's been to me, or two, you've had the same issues with your own mom, or three, your sisters, or one of them at least, or two of them, I don't know if it's both of them, have experienced what I have experienced with my mom, but with your mom. And I was like, we won't pursue it until you're ready. I no longer rush to give unsolicited opinions or advice as much as I used to, so I let it slide. But then I've been having these conversations with my female friends about how, hey, we love our moms, but they have messed us up a good one. They've made us feel or think of relationships as very transactional. They've given all of us body image issues. All of us, Yani. It's just I don't want to mention anyone by name because I don't have permission, but everyone assigned female at birth who has issues largely because of their mother. Now, we won't even get into how fathers mess us up even when they're in our lives, because I don't even have the bandwidth for that. But I've been really thinking about and talking to my therapist. At least I finally had an honest conversation with her, and she was surprised that I hid it from her. That I've had two pregnancy scares in my life. One in 2014 with my partner of forever, and one this year, earlier this year. And the minute I had the scare, I told the person after, I guess, 3 days of being weird with them. And I was like, okay, I know you've noticed I've been weird. So, sit down. Where are you at? Are you safe? And I told them. And they were really cool about it. They're like, oh, come, let's figure it out. But in their being cool about it, I also felt abandoned. And I remember thinking, I will never let my child feel this. So I had actually also told them while announcing, oh, FYI, I am not keeping this pregnancy. I turned out to not be pregnant. And then I grieved that. Now that's the part that surprised me, that I found myself grieving not being pregnant. Why? Because since I was 14, I just figured kids were not for me. Am I good with kids? Yes. Do kids love me? Yes. I think it's honestly because I am a child. They can't see it. I'm a really fun child. You've seen from my social media, I am very childlike. And this isn't just about inner child healing. I love trampolines. I love balloons. I love water. I like bright, shiny things. I also like dim light and need a dark and quiet room to sleep. I'm a fussy 2-year-old. Not really, I think four. I think a 4-year-old, because like I've learned how to walk. I found my words. I'm excited to tell you everything that's happening in my life, and I talk nonstop. Yeah, I think I'm a 4-year-old. And I'm waiting for all the psychologists to just psychoanalyze what I've just said. But I met someone who tapped into my inner child. I'm smiling as I say this because I have a feeling they'll see this video. And this person made me feel like a child. And I remember my friend Kalondu told me before I left Kenya, she sat me in her car and she said, Sharon, look for the man that makes you feel like a little girl again. I don't know if she said like a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old, but she described it so beautifully. And without just paraphrasing, she was like, the one who makes you feel like a little girl, it makes you feel safe, and he makes you feel loved and cared for. So in hindsight, and I would have just added, and the one who you can be silly with, the one who makes you laugh, the one you can have difficult conversations with as well, because we are adults. And so I met someone like that because, by the time my relationship was ending, I was convinced I was never going to do this again. This, even talking to men, like let alone looking at them, I was like, I'm done. I'll dress like a dude. I'll tell everyone I'm gay. I tried wearing the wedding band. It didn't work. I tried everything. And so I had to also sit myself down and go like, Sharon, you are an attractive person and your confidence has come back since the breakup, and you're finding yourself, and you've gone through your rotation phase, and you're done ish, and and now you want to settle. And I remember the first time my mom said, Sharon, you need someone who'll cook for you. Someone who, it was 2018, I was standing at the steps of the Oval in Westlands, and she called me, and it was one of those days we used to just do banter. And my mom and I have always been close until this breakup we've had, where I've gone no contact with her for 2 years. And I remember when she said, you need someone who, when you come back from work late, either because there was traffic or there was something that you needed to do, you find that he's prepared dinner. That's the day I realized my mom knows me. And there's a time I was talking to her about someone I liked, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're like your mother. You like men who are put together, men who figured out their stuff, men who fix problems quick. You don't have to remind them to do things. And fortunately, I have seen my mom date. And she took a while, but she did. And I remember when we would talk about the person she was with at the time, and I'd give her advice. And I loved that. I felt like my life had come full circle, where I was able to tell her, oh, since I have been in the dating pool more recently than you, this is how you communicate with men now. There's a new manual. And it made me feel very close to her. I still feel close to my mom. I don't talk to her, but I have ways of finding out how she's doing. I have people on the ground who tell me, oh, I ran into your mom, she's doing okay, or she's not doing okay, or someone who'll tell me, oh, she's working on this, or I met her the other day and we had coffee and this is what she talked about. So I'm kind of current-ish on some of the stuff that's happening in her life. And I have plans for her because she's my only parent and I absolutely love her. I have plans to prepare for her retirement. Only difference is I'm preparing for mine and then preparing for hers. Because before, I would have set myself on fire for my mother. And I did. And then I wound up almost developing a drinking problem. I was passed out drunk somewhere just before I came to Germany. And a friend had to watch me all night. And that's the day I decided I choose life over a relationship with her. Now, that's not to say she did something horrendous. That's just to say sometimes people have a power over you so that when they criticize you even slightly, and because your self-esteem is in the toilet, or you feel like nothing away from them or apart from them, or you feel like you need their approval, any small criticism from them crushes you completely. And that was my relationship with my mom. We were very enmeshed. And because of fairy tale thinking, sometimes I have these fantasies in my head, like how I'll run into her in London one day and then we will cry and hug and everything will be okay. But she and I have replayed that in real life, IRL, and it wasn't okay for too long, which is why I've decided. I even held a mock funeral for her in 2020 after I completed my reparenting program with Rose Misati, where I was working on my relationship with my mother and reparenting myself. Then I took a whole break in 2021 where I crashed. I took a sabbatical. I left Nairobi. I spent my life savings. And then I got back together with my ex. And then I applied for school here. And then I was trying for the US and Canada, but Germany worked out first. These past few days, I've really regretted coming to Germany. I have regretted it immensely. I have asked myself why. But at the same time, I've really celebrated my strength. I am an incredibly strong person if I came to Germany and have been able to survive what I've survived so far. I've put myself in incredibly compromising situations to survive, to pay bills. Um, I have not asked for help when I needed it. I have asked for help and been disappointed. I have asked for help and been pleasantly surprised that the people I had not expected to help would help. And that is why I'm going through this. Oh my gosh, so not all men are trash. And oh my gosh, so I might be open to motherhood. Oh my gosh, so, like I'm going through all these things. And for them to be happening to me at 36, I'm usually the one who has a plan. I have it figured out. But then I had it figured out until I didn't. And so what is this video? I don't know what this is about. I know what it is about, at least some of it. So what's the thing I want you to take away from this ramble? I am coming undone in Kleve. I am coming undone because I'm in a safe space. I'm living with a woman who doesn't judge, who is cool, who is not a Christian but is Muslim, and she gets it, and she's liberal and she's fun, and you guys have met her, Madaya. And I can be myself around her. And when I struggle to be myself and she sees me trying to mask, she catches it and she gives me space. And she knows I forget to eat and she feeds me. And she loves me the way I want to be loved. And she exceeds that expectation. And I know, like, she and I joke about, oh my gosh, the way we are going, we will wind up marrying women. And like yesterday, the three of us, Madaya, Easy, and I, I was like, why don't we find a house and all just live together? Because we've all been through some stuff. And we have other mutual friends who've been through stuff that we would love to live with, who are clean and kind. And why did I start with clean? Are clean and kind, and especially that kind. And you see, I didn't even mention how much money they make or where they're from. I didn't mention their sexual orientation or religious beliefs. Just mutual respect. Because last night, a liberal Catholic, a liberal Seventh-day Adventist, and a liberal Muslim shared a meal together. It was halal, it was tasty, it was fun, and we just talked about life, where we want to be, where we've been, what our plans for the future are, and we promised each other that we would do this again next week and then the week after that. Because we want to be intentional about checking up on each other, and so now we are doing it. I love that I'm able to sit with my friends and talk to them about the shame of having depression or social anxiety. Because how do you explain to someone that you're on the same bed they left you in at 9 a.m., at 9 p.m. when they come home? How do you. There are people who call that laziness. Hey, it's a conversation we had yesterday. I was like, no, that's not laziness. That's struggle. And I don't know if any of you will ever understand what it's like to just wake up at 6 in the morning, preparing to go somewhere at 3. And it's just hard to do anything at all, including brushing your teeth and taking a shower. But I found empathetic ears and empathetic hearts to listen when I shared this last night. Because I was advocating for someone who is in that phase where they are flaky, and I don't believe people are bad inherently. I think people struggle. It's why I'm able to forgive what my mom has done, because she did know better. Or even if she did, she couldn't act better. Or even if she could and she chose not to, I can't do anything about it, can I? It's already happened. I can understand her behavior, especially considering the very difficult, very hard mother she and her sister had. And I know women of that time were gatekeeping patriarchy, and my grandma still gatekeeps patriarchy. Another reason why I also don't talk to her. I'm sharing all this because I believe it is in my transparency and honesty that I've been able to help people deal with their own stuff. There are people who've actually listened to some of what I say and gotten a new therapist to address the issues because they realized their last therapist was just not working for them. Because your therapist needs to be your safe space. But on top of that, therapy can't be the only answer. You have to fill your life with things and pockets of sunshine if you're going to stay afloat. You have to eat well. And if you struggle to eat well, get an accountability partner. And I'm saying accountability partner because I know not everyone can afford a health coach. Not everyone can afford a nutritionist who checks in on them every month. The economy is doing terribly. Oh, that's my knee. But everyone can invest in someone who. Not everyone, that's a very ableist statement. Some of us, many of us, can invest in friendships in a meaningful way. We can at least check up on our people. And then if I don't have the capacity to check up on Easy, I tell Caleb to check up on him. Especially because Caleb and Easy are men. There's a way they'll be able to, black men, they'll be able to talk about their stuff. If I know Madaya and Tochi are close, there's a way that I can sort of nudge Madaya and tell her, hey, check up on Tucci, the 4th trimester is tough. If I know that, and then there are people who know me well enough to know that, oh yeah, if Sharon is going through something, the person who can talk to her is Caleb. The other person who can talk to her is Easy. The other person interestingly, why did I start with the men? But I don't know. I feel like even Afra can talk to me. But we all have those people who we reach out to and those who reach out to us. And then we also know the people who are closer to whom. You know what I mean, right? I know for a fact that Lily checks in on me periodically and then we just catch up from where we left off, like nothing happened, even though we've given each other like pockets of quiet because someone was working on a school project or someone had a thing. I mean, I know I forgot Lily's birthday the day before, and this is a thing that's been happening. So whoever's birthday I forgot who was upset with me, please, my childhood friend Lily had her birthday on the 15th, just went over my head. And I have a feeling I also forgot Olive's birthday. And I think I've also forgotten Ivy's birthday. So what I feel like I can do I mean, incidentally, I happened to remember Anne's birthday. I skipped over Esther's birthday. But what I do is I try and make it up because I think words are empty. So I'm like, okay, Lily, when you go to Kenya in December, go see Anne about the thing that I know you like, and then I'll pay for it. And such like things. Like I'll do something thoughtful. The hoodies are because my people are in the abroad and they're both black people, Kenyan and from Chad. What do you call people from Chad? The Chadanese? Chud? I don't know. I'm being silly. Okay, this has run for 35 minutes. I've been meaning to do a longer video after I did the other one before we went to the gym. Oh yeah, working out also really helps with mental health issues. Like the feel good hormone effects lasts. Are they endorphins? They last for longer than the workout session, all the way to that night, the next day, etc. Because I slept really well for days after that, and my insomnia only came back last night because I was in a weird space thinking about my life choices over the past 2 weeks. I have a therapy session on the 2nd, which is when I will have hopefully moved into my new place in Berlin, hopefully gotten my stuff to my new house, gotten my stuff from Leipzig to Berlin, and all that stuff. I had this conversation with a new friend called Kabir, and this new friend, we're the same age. It feels good to be able to talk to someone else who's fallen behind in school and is just awesome and has been through it as well. And we decided last night it's just one step at a time. And I have that conversation with my friend Olive as well. One step at a time. Just today. Let's figure out today. Let's figure out, oh wait, the weekend is here. Let's figure out what we want to do. And even when Madai invited me for a get together tonight, I love that she said, I don't know where you'll be at, with your social battery, but you're invited, but it's okay if you don't want to come. That's what true friendship is like. It's you don't force anyone. And then we also have difficult conversations like, oh yeah, I feel like I made you uncomfortable when I did this, or I feel like I trigger your OCD when I start cleaning, or I hope you don't feel unwelcome when I do this. And I'm like, no, I don't. Or if I do, it's a me problem. Like, how can I help? How can I help? Stella used to ask me that. She still does. We just haven't chatted in a while, but like, it's what can I do to help? Sometimes that question is overwhelming. Sometimes it lands just where it should, which is in the depths of your soul. I don't know what this video was about. I think it was just me coming undone and thinking about my life choices and questioning everything. Please give yourself permission to question everything. It's okay to question whether God exists. It's okay to question whether you believe what you believe anymore, whether you want to be Christian anymore, Muslim anymore, or whether it serves you. It's okay to question whether God cares, considering all the trash that's happening in the world, because it is when we question that we seek answers. If we are not curious, then our existence is mediocre at best. So question everything. Follow people on social media who don't look like you and don't sound like you. People from other parts of the world. If you're straight, follow pages that are LGBTQIA plus informed and positive, so that you actually teach yourself, like, okay, everyone is saying this and this about gay people. Is it true? Conduct actual research. Why am I talking about this? Because thesis. Yeah, if you're white, follow black pages. If you're black, follow white pages. If you're a believer in one thing, follow people who believe other. And just expand your knowledge of the world around you. Make friends with other nationalities and other cultures. Learn how to, as Paul said in the New Testament, be everything for everyone. And I will definitely finish with the quote. You all know this by now. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know absolutely nothing about, okay? Stay happy and healthy. I've borrowed that from Dr. Mike. I still have a crush on him. Someone please tell him.